Hey, welcome back to It's New. Barry Schwartz here with Oberstein.
Close enough.
Okay. And Greg Finn. I'm not going to explain what that means because there's always something with your names, but I don't get baseball or entertainment in general. So I apologize.
It's Mordy Oberstein. It's just Gordy Boberstein.
Oh, okay. So there's nothing really to it. Okay. Got it.
No,
All
I
right.
don't do baseball.
No, he's in the home run competition this year, I think.
Gordy, yeah, Gordy's great.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about indexing issues from last night. It was less of an issue than the previous time. Gordy, what are you talking about?
Google warns that AI, like my mother, might be distorting reality.
Oh, does she watch this?
No.
Okay. Greg?
Google Ads is migrating the country of sale to feed label and is putting a stop seas to the oxys.
All right. So last night around, 6 p.m., a little before 6 p.m. Eastern, Google search stopped indexing new content again. This one, it seemed like Google got on top of very quickly, but it was pretty wild. Again, no new content across, Wall Street Journal, CNN, New York Times, AP News, you just name it. Every single site, even my own site, was not being indexed for new content that was published in the past several hours. And usually these sites get indexed within like a minute or seconds of the content being published. So it's pretty wild. Google fixed the issue about an hour after it happened. I did email Google, tons of people at Google saying, this is an issue. Google then, so I saw things return to Google in about an hour after it started happening. And then Google this morning, well, actually, last night, Google sent me a statement at 8:45 p.m. saying this was an issue that was briefly affecting indexing for some sites in Google search. We quickly addressed the issue, and indexing should be working normally now. Then Google updated the search status dashboard this morning around 5:30 a.m. to just basically notate that was an issue. So that was the exciting news from last night. So if you notice any crazy ranking changes or any weird traffic issues from Google last night, it might have been related to that specific blip.
Google's keeping it interesting lately, huh?
I know. I don't know. It seems like they have these indexing issues that pop up and then they go away, and then they just happen frequently within each other, and then they go away for like a year. I'm not sure what's going on there. So it seems like some of their wires are crossed a little bit, but I'm sure nobody more than Google wants to make sure that they're indexing fast. I mean, obviously publishers want it, but Google's like, if we're not having new content in index, it's like kind of makes our search results poor, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, what do you want to talk about? Some AI distortion?
Yeah, there's a lot of noise. So this comes from CNET. The author was Connie Guglielmo. Probably not pronouncing that right. Sorry.
I think she's in the home run derby too.
She's an all-star. So basically, it's the usual hit job on AI, which I'm fully supportive of and behind. But the part that makes this interesting is that they quoted a study that said this contamination of publicly accessible data with AI-generated content could potentially impede information retrieval and distort collective understanding of socio-political reality or scientific consensus. 6 researchers said, some of whom are from Google, which is as interesting that you have people who are either from or associated to Google saying this at the same time they're putting out the AI overviews. What's also in contrast to this, Heather Moynihan from Cypress North put out a piece on July 8th about conversational writing and what that is and why you should be doing that, which stands in nice contradistinction to the whole AI nonsense, which is not conversational at all. What's interesting to me about that piece from Cypress North, which happens to be where the agency that Greg Finn owns, is that on January 4th, some guy named Gordy Boberstein wrote a piece on the Wix SEO Hub saying the case for taking a conversational tone with your content. What I'm basically asking, Greg, is can I get a link?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I don't have nothing to do with that, but I'm sure it was, no, I know it wasn't.
I'll take the link, but.
So two things. Isn't it all about conversation, especially like ChatGPT? It's like having a conversation with these robots, which is the issue about distorting reality. I see people literally having their friends, AI, like ChatGPT and Gemini and stuff are their friends. They talk to them like their friends. It's a distortion of reality, and maybe it is new reality. But isn't that a conversation?
Well, yeah, I think that means like, I mean, I don't want to put words in Cypress North's mouth. But I think what they mean by conversational more is like speaking directly to the user with useful information other than like trying to make pizza with glue. Like the fact that the AI overview is like speaking to you doesn't actually make it conversational. Does that make sense?
Does. But can you prompt it to be more speaking to the user? Can't you just say that? Can you say,
I think part of being conversational though is like having that nuance of like what the user actually needs and what their desires are, and having an original take to answer those problems, and or doing things like predicting their next problem that they might have based on the advice you gave them.
Yeah, I'm
like
on the
now
other
that you
side.
ate glue, now you might need to go see a doctor.
I get it, and I'm on the other. I do think AI will be able to do all of that and better than people, especially people like me. I think it'll be more human than people like me.
I agree, but I think it's a ways off. Like I think
Yeah.
that's still 5, 10, probably 10 years. And like to me, the biggest thing is like authenticity and genuineness is like something you can tell people crave it more than ever now. Having the show, making jokes, things like that, seeing that it's real conversation. Will AI get there? Yeah, probably. I mean, but who wants to listen to like two computers drone onto each other? I don't know. I mean,
But if you're in pain listening to it, I guess you could pop some opioids, right?
yeah, but don't go looking for an ad on Google for it, because Barry, you had just last month, I think the 17th of June, had talked about Google opening back up the ability to advertise opioid painkillers as long as you're not promoting or selling them, which never really made sense. A bunch of people called Google out on that. And then PPC Greg saw that there was an update on July 8th. Yesterday, that the Google is going to be indefinitely pausing that policy update. So if you are schlepping pills, you will not be able to do it on Google Ads. And then one other kind of minor note, hopefully most people are using feed labels, but they're about August 2022, feed labels came out, which allowed you to kind of make it very easy to show what location or languages you're targeting in a feed label other than an attribute within your feed. The attribute was called country of sale, and they're moving all to this feed label. And to me, you should be on that feed label because you can implement it at the campaign level. And Google just makes it really nice if you're advertising to just pull that specific feed label in, and applies to everything else, and you don't have to mess around. We have a whole bunch of countries who use feed labels like that. You should just be doing that. And then if you are still using country of sale, it's going to be automatically upgraded to the new feed label functionality. And this is for all shopping and Performance Max campaigns in Google Ads.
Not much to add there, except for I do believe those who wanted the opioid stuff were those like who were doing campaigns to like, helping people get off of opioids and stuff like that. It was more about like awareness and stuff.
Yeah. And that's like, unfortunately, like the byproduct of we had a client that sold gloves and P9, I don't know the name of it, P90X masks that you'd have. And I know that's a workout program. And they would be selling these things and you couldn't advertise them, around the pandemic time. And it was like, they just put this blanket stuff on there. And sometimes the good gets thrown out with the bad on that. And there were a lot of fake masks and things like that. We had real masks. We couldn't advertise them. We couldn't get this product to people. So, unfortunately, the case is sometimes those people trying to get people off of opioids, might not be able to have as much visibility.
Do you find it weird though that Google does show ads for buy a poppy field in Afghanistan? I'm joking. It doesn't show an ad.
There's just two quick things also that we didn't cover, but I think it's kind of worth a mention. Google's testing country labels in the search result snippets that show the flag of the country, saying this site is from this country, which is pretty interesting. This is spotted by Marquetti Small. I don't know. And I apologize for the name. And then also Bing is actually showing nutrition labels in the actual image search results when you do searches for food. So you can see if it's like high calcium, lean protein, Barry, don't eat this. That's those types of labels, which is always useful to have. So Yeah, that's about it. Everyone, thanks so much for listening. We're back tomorrow, I hope, and see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Right.
Bye.